Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another live channeling episode of our Mother, Father, God messages. Our channel is Dr. Kathryn E. May, who we have all learned to love and appreciate in her such a nice way of bringing these messages through to us. I think we're all just comfortably hooked on these calls. And tonight, a little bit about Kathryn, who we like to call her. Kathryn is a live channel for Mother, Father, God, and other cosmic masters. Kathryn is a practicing clinical psychologist. She's been in private practice in New York City and in the Hudson Valley area for about 35 years, so she's quite well known, very well established, and becoming a good friend to many of us. Kathryn also has brought forth a beautiful new technique that no one else has. It's known as visual centering. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if this hasn't enabled Kathryn to have the ability to imagine channeling 4 cosmic masters in one call. So the technique that she studied and learned, and I'll let her tell you about her tutor, called visual centering, was over a period of 30 years. Over a period of 20 years, she started writing the book called Who Needs Light? And that book can be found. And a couple of calls ago, we were told by Mother, Father, God that this book is actually what could be termed an ascension manual. We all need all the help we can get right now because the ascension process is underway, and the more balanced and stable and control of ourselves that we can be, the more wonderful experience we're going to have. Dr. May's website is whoneedslight.org. Whoneedslight.org, O-R-G. And when you go there, you will see her picture. You'll learn a little bit. And if you go up to the top tab that says Channeled Info, that's where it all begins. It's wonderful, just learning from Kathryn in her own words how this all unfolded in her life. Well, with that, I'm going to step aside. We have 4 wonderful guests with us, and I'll let Kathryn tell you who her guests are. I don't know if we know the order or not, but Kathryn, tell us more about what we're going to hear today.
Hi, Anne. And let's not forget to announce Anne. This is Anne DeHart. And Anne is the webmaster and creator of 2 wonderful websites called HallowEarthNetwork.com and Earth Ascends, their sister sites, and they have the most wonderful information there. So let's see. Who are we going to have tonight? We're going to have Mother, Father, God, who are the ones who usually begin our show. And then after that, we will talk to Sananda and Ashtar and Saint Germain. And I don't know the order, except that I think I'm going to ask Sananda to come after Mother, Father, God, because I have some questions to ask him. And I think at the end of I get to go first. Because I'm channeling.
Executive privilege. That's okay,
so
Kathryn.
Anne and I get to ask our questions first, and then other people can, after we've channeled everybody, then we'll have a question and answer time at the end, because they, I'm sure, have a lot to say. It's such an exciting time, and I know each one of them will have something different to say relating to what's going on. So without too much more introduction, let's ask Mother, Father, God to come and talk with us first and see what they have to say. And then we'll have a little break. Okay?
Okay. Well, Kathryn, we'll just let you settle back and get comfy and invite your first guest, which will be Mother, Father, God. And Kathryn is just getting herself all nice and settled and cozy because we love these calls. They're so comfortable. And I bet you by now the next voice that we hear will be Mother, Father, God.
Thank you, Anne. Isn't she lovely? Okay, let's see. We have so many things to talk to you about. I know most of you have been reading the messages, and we had 2 messages for you already this week with some information that will help you to get yourselves ready. And much of what we talked about in those messages is also in the book in a more extended form. So if you like those messages, there's lots more. So there is help available to you. We get questions from you about how do I do this and what comes next and how am I going to be ready. Well, we're giving you all the tools. You have a shed full of tools now. You have the book, you have these messages, you have this radio show, and you have us answering your questions. So there shouldn't really be too many questions left by the time you've done all those things. You should be very well prepared, providing you're using them. And using them means on a daily basis. This is a time for everyone to really buckle down and use the tools you have, do them rigorously. You know how the masters train. You've heard about how Zen masters train. They spend 30 years, and they spend all day, every day, learning to do what they do best, which is to be in the light. Now, we're not suggesting that you need to spend every minute of every day, but when you're really mindful, when you're studying mindfulness, that is the result. You will be aware and alert. You will be monitoring yourself. And when you do that, when you become very good at monitoring yourself, at the same time you will be monitoring all the people around you in the same way. So you'll be listening. You'll be listening to see if your expressions, your language, your tone of voice is in a very positive mode, whether you're exuding light and love to those around you, and you will begin to notice what other people are doing as well. So we have told you that love is power. This is why. Because when you begin to take your stance, take up your position in a balanced central place in your brain where you're breathing light, you're exuding light, and you're feeling love for yourself first and for others, it emanates. It pours out from you, and it extends a few feet beyond you, sometimes even as much as 10 feet. Everyone in your presence will feel it. And you'll be surprised. It will change their behavior as well. It will bring out the best in people. So the ones that you have to deal with at work who are sometimes cranky or negative, you'll find that they will be raising their consciousness as well, because they will see you, they'll feel it, and they will begin to fall into step with you. And that is power. You do have the ability to raise the consciousness level around you. So, as you're doing that, the more you do it, the better it feels, and the better your results. And you will find yourself in what we have called the universal law of flow. As you exude warmth and light, which is also love, of course, the energy you send out into the atmosphere around you goes out and touches others and comes back to you. And you know that things have been speeding up. You know that everything is moving faster. A week seems like a day. When you put out the light energy, it's starting to come back to you faster. Of course, the same goes for negative energy. If you put out negative energy, it will come back to you very quickly. So you don't want to do that, and we certainly don't want to even imagine that. We're picturing you. You know, we've talked to you about manifestation. Well, we do it too, of course. That's why we're sending you these blasts of love energy. We see you absorbing it. We see you doing it day by day. We also see you in the future, already beaming light, because we know that's where you're headed. We see all of you working hard, getting brighter every day. Now, sometimes things come up where you may have a bad day. Maybe you slipped. Maybe you got cranky. Maybe you yelled at somebody you love. Maybe you got mean or a little grumpy with someone in a store or someone on the telephone who was being obstinate. All right, take a breath. Pull yourself back. Put yourself back into your strongest, loving position and breathe. And put your foot down between you and yourself. And you say to yourself, I will not go there again. I am not going to do that. That's not who I am. And you will succeed. The more you do that, the more your brain will literally rewire itself to think love, to act in love, to feel love. You are disciplining your own brain by your own thoughts, your own feelings, by being in command, and by being in the center where you are the commander of all of your actions, all of your thoughts, and all of your feelings. Yes, it is possible. And when you do that, your feelings will soar. Your heart will open. You will be so filled with love. And that's what we call the I am presence. In that place, you are in perfect contact with your higher self, which is your I am presence. And when you are perfectly aligned with your I am presence, you are with us. You are feeling our love. You are expressing our love. You become like a conduit for our love. And in that way, you are our representative on earth. You are living out our intentions. You are expressing our love. And we are very happy about that. You get to feel our love, and so do the people around you. So there's a double benefit. Everyone feels good. So that's what we hope to see you doing every moment of every day. Now remember, as we said in our last message to you, you must first completely leave behind the dark idea that was perpetrated on this entire planet that there is something wrong with you that needs to be fixed, or that needs to be medicated, or that needs to be changed. Well, it is not true. In your essence, you are light. In your heart, you are love. In your souls, you are our children, and you know it. That idea that human beings are defective in some way, that there's something wrong with human nature. You have that awful expression, to err is human. Well, of course humans make mistakes, but it's not that absolute. It's not a fundamental characteristic. It is true that to forgive is divine. And so if you've made some mistakes, that's all right. They're behind you. You are now standing in your presence, and we like to joke with you. Where your foot is, that's your path. And if you see your path leading into light along your entire path, you will live that way. And you will encounter others who do as well. The higher you raise your vibration, the brighter the people you attract. And your life will get better and better as you go. So we hope this helps. Now, we will continue with these lessons. This is what we have called the true way. Let's add a little something to that. You use the word true in many different ways, very interesting ways. We're talking about the true way being, for a human being in the center of your brain, of your heart, of your body, in alignment with us. Everything, you might say, in a straight line down through the top of your brain, down through your body and into the earth, through all your chakras. You also use the word true to mean someone who is straightening, for instance, a bicycle wheel. If the bicycle is wobbly and the frame of the tire is not straight, you say it isn't true. So when the wheel goes around, it will wobble. Well, that's what's happened with a lot of you because of the training that came from the dark ones. The idea that there's something wrong with you, the idea that loving makes you vulnerable, nonsense. All those ideas made you wobbly. It threw you off center. It created a problem so that every time you tried to really go fast, you'd find yourself falling off your track. Well, it's just because you were not true to yourself. And when you're true to yourself, you're true to us, as we are true to you. We hope that helps you, dear ones. We want to see you all shine. Shine your brightest. Be joyful. And now we ask Anne to come back Hello, Anne.
I'm here.
And we will turn over the line to you so that Kathryn can prepare to channel our dear Sananda.
Well, thank you so much, Mother, Father, God. I loved every word and took it deep into my heart, mind. It touched me very much. I'm sure it's touched others. And we're very grateful to have this guidance and to steady our course as we go through quickly changing events in our lives, always to keep our balance and be true. I love that word. And I bet perhaps Sananda is here now to talk with Kathryn.
Yeah, it's Kathryn. I have a question for Sananda, which I would like to, while I'm still here, I'd like to express it. So, I mean, he's ready to come and talk with us. So I would like to ask my question before he begins, so he can weave it into whatever he has to say to us, or he'll tell us whether he wants to answer it or not. There has been a document, a petition that we have prepared and put on the internet, but I think it may need some tweaking. And I want to ask Sananda about this document. It has to do with our new life, our new government. It begins, we the people, and it does suggest that we encourage those who are going to be making the changes to get on with it and to help us make this change. So that seems to me to be a very good idea. But we want to be very careful about how we word it. And there were some things in the document that made me question whether this might have come from a dark source. And even if it does, it also struck me that it might be a very nice way of defeating the dark entities who may have been trying to trip us up. If we were to edit this, shape it a little, make it a little smoother, a little more elegant, and exactly in line with what Sananda and those who are helping with the change for planet Earth have in mind, because we want to be completely aligned with light. And I would like to ask him if he has any suggestions for us about that and how he thinks we should go about it. Do you have anything to add, Anne?
Not that I can think of. I'm glad you're asking this. I think a lot of people want to be sure of what they're eager to support this change, because we've been told by the galactics that it's going to be up to us. They're not going to come down here and take over and set up a new government, new financial system for us. They're going to help us and guide us, but we have to make it happen. And that's why we felt this would be finally a point where all of us can throw our shoulders to the wheel and become part of this change. And we want to make sure we're doing it the right way. So I'm glad you asked this, Kathryn.
Okay, well, let's see what Sananda has to say.
Okay, we'll let you go ahead and settle in and change over to the frequency that is comfortable for Sananda to join us. We're all looking forward to this very interesting response to Kathryn's question. So I believe we've given her a little time to settle in, and the next voice that we'll be hearing will be Sananda.
Yes, it's I, Sananda. Greetings, everyone. Hello, Anne.
Hi, Sananda.
Well, that was a very interesting question, and it gives me a good opening to begin to tell you about what's happening now a little more. Yes, that was a very good question and a reasonable concern. And you are smart, all of you. And I have to tell you, you are really on the right track. Yes, you're right. This document that was circulated was a trap. It was designed to encourage people to approve of things that are certainly not what would have been to our liking. There were a few things slipped in there that would have caused trouble. Of course, we wouldn't have executed what the document said precisely because that's not our job. But there were a few things in it, some of the language, some of the suggestions that were a little sneaky. And you have identified all of them. You saw what the problem might be, and you proceeded to fix it. So I think you're on the right track, and you have discussed the changes that you wanted to make to the body of the document that would really shape it up and make it more eloquent and more appropriate, and that would be lovely. So by all means, you're on the right track, and we are chuckling and tickled to death at your response to this. First of all, your excitement of wanting to help out, wanting to get behind this, and wanting to create something that would be an affirmation for those who are working very hard to help out, to help you all. Yes, for you to say, yes, we are behind you. We see what you're doing, and we're marching for you. That was just glorious for us to see. It brings tears to my eyes to see the enthusiasm and the heart with which all of you want to contribute, want to get behind this. But of course, we don't want anybody to be frightened by it. So you were right to change it, simplify it. Make it very basic so that there's nothing in there that is threatening to anyone. Because why should there be? This is a glorious time. And we're talking simply about freedom, about restoring your democratic government, reconstituting the Constitution, which has been kicked to the curb, as you like to say, renewing your faith in the government that was designed to be for the people. We don't need details right now. We are going to help to change all of the banking and the financial systems and the way the government is run, yes. But mostly that's just to restore what was originally intended, which was freedom for all. You have been living under days of slavery, working for corporations, even when you didn't know you were. This is what we intend to change. And there are many in your culture, and there have been many, who have fought for this all along. We didn't think this up. We didn't discover this problem. You've known about it. Many of you have known about it for years, for centuries now. And there have always been those who would speak out. There have always been those who would risk everything to try to restore what was intended. And now it's going to happen. So yes, indeed, we do want your participation. This was intended to be a government for and of the people. And that means participation. It means you write your feelings in to the people who represent you, and they should pay attention. And this is what will happen. When you finish your petition and you send it, people will pay attention. And it's a wonderful thing. It's a beginning. It may be a small beginning, but it's a very important one. This has been difficult for you because your government, the secret government, we should say, has become so dangerous that it really was impossible for people to find who the dark ones were, to prosecute them. It was very difficult because the cabal had burrowed its way deep into the earth, deep into every system, deeply into your minds and hearts. It made it very difficult to ferret them out, very difficult to prosecute them because they had influences everywhere, because they could buy anyone who was willing to be bought. So it became very difficult for people to even think about creating a revolution. How do you fight a shadow government? What we're doing, what the one you call COS is doing, is to ferret out that secret government, to expose them. And it will be done. It is being done. It's not complete yet, and that's why we need your help. The dark ones are on the run. They are frightened, and they are trying anything to try to grasp for power. This document they sent around was an example of that. And you rightly noticed that there were some things about it that didn't feel quite right. So, what a pleasure to catch them at their own game and to use their own game to win. So we congratulate you on that. We do want to see this circulating around the globe, and others can sign it as well. There are many other governments that are having the same problem, that are having to free themselves. You're not the only ones here in the United States, but you will lead. And when the rest of the world sees how successful this is, and how the Americans and also Canadians, who are under a very similar system, are beginning to take back their country, are beginning to take to the streets, to cheer, to hug each other, to play music, to celebrate the change, it will be a wonderful time. And the rest of the world will be lifted, just as Mother, Father, God said. The more light you put out, the more light your country exudes, the more it will affect the rest of the world. So do not fear. You will tweak your little document. It's not a new constitution. It's an expression of your will. That's what it is. It's an expression with your name signed to it. I want this to happen. I want to take back my government. That's what's important about that document. And those in charge will, for the moment, will do the rest. So you'll see, those of us who are helping out, Some will remain, some will move on. There are plenty of people on the ground who are preparing themselves to be ready to take over because they're people of the heart. We've worked with them. We know them. You know many of them. There are good people. And when the shadow is lifted, when the darkness is lifted, the fear is lifted, good people will come forward. The ones who've already been working behind the scenes will come forward and let you know. So, carry on, all of you. And I want to warn you, do not be frightened. Do not be threatened by those who might try to scare you or stop you or question you or take the wind out of your sails. You are involved in a wonderful project. Whatever you do with your hearts will be good. Whatever you feel in the deepest part of your heart as an expression of love, it will manifest. It will manifest as light. So do not fear. The things you are doing now, any effort you make to put yourself out there behind the effort to change your country will add to the light and will make it easier for all. I hope that's clear. I hope you understand. Do not be afraid. Do not permit fear to stop you. Do not permit threats or accusations or questions to kill your love, to take away your pleasure. You have a saying when you call someone a killjoy. You know how that works. You say to someone, "We're going to take back this country. We're going to make it our own again." And they say, "Oh yeah, I'll believe that when I see it." Do not permit those people to bring you down. They're not awake yet. That's all. Or if you say, "I want to sign this petition. I think this is a good thing to say that I'm behind this and I'm ready to help." And someone says to you, "Oh, that's evil. Watch out." Don't be taken in by that. Do not allow fear to stop you. These are the lessons that Mother, Father, God have been giving you in their messages. Do not permit the darkness to take you over. We are here for you. We love you. We're helping you. And we will continue to do so. We will also carry the torch with you. We only need for you to join in. You'll get guidance. You'll get encouragement. But the ones who wrote your Constitution, the ones who established this American government, had love in their hearts. It wasn't perfect. And no document can guide an entire country. It can inspire you. It can encourage you to stay in your hearts. And it was very good for that reason. It was a very good document to encourage and inspire people toward equality and inspiration and goodness. But no single document can change a person's heart. You will do that. Those of you who are listening to this, who are listening to my voice, just as those who talked with me when I came to live among you as Jesus. There were those who gathered round, who listened intently as you all are listening now, who knew that the love we speak is true, that the love we send to you is true, and that the love I express is the love of Mother, Father, God. And like you, I am the conduit. We are no different. You will do exactly as I have done. You will express the love that we all feel from Mother, Father, God. That was what I came to teach. Unfortunately, the teachings were changed. Much of it was deliberately distorted. But now we have the chance to start anew. And I am here to be with you again, to send you my love, to help guide you, to embrace you, to let you know we are one. We are completely together in this. You have the backing of all the love and the powers of heaven, of the galactic fleet of your brothers and sisters from far planets who have come here to help. It is a wonderful day, a wonderful thing that's happening here. It is an inspiration to the entire universe. Can I tell you any more clearly? I am here with you. I am here with love. I embrace you. And I ask you to join in this great love and this wonderful project that we are doing together. And now, with the greatest love I can possibly send to you, I say namaste.
And Sananda, we say namaste to you, and we're extremely grateful for these words of assurance, which is we all want to make sure we're doing the right thing. We want to do it with an open heart, with joy and love in our heart. We don't want any fear instilled in us. That is the vibration we least want to ever be led into. And we will listen to your words, I'm sure, more than one time. And we will move forward as you instructed, keeping it simple and clear and expressing from the heart what it is that we, the people, want in our new government. And with this, I'm going to, I don't know if Kathryn's coming back or one of our other guest speakers, but I'll stand aside and let's see who is ready to share some time with us.
Hello. Well, we debated here about who should go next. We've told you sometimes we flip coins. This is Ashtar. I had to elbow Saint Germain out of the way. Just kidding, of course. But we do like to joke. Now, I know Sananda's talk with you was very serious. I saw Kathryn with tears in her eyes as Sananda finished. The love that he feels for all of you is so profound and deep and wide. His light fills the universe. And when he directs it toward planet Earth, everyone feels it. Everyone feels it. What a glorious time this is. I just wanted to tell all of you how much I enjoy talking with you. We had a few messages that said, thank you for describing the bridge. People liked that I told them about the ship. I'm glad I could share that. It's a little hard for me to describe because you're not familiar with the kinds of things that we experience, so sometimes it's hard to put it into words. But it was fun telling you about it. So let me give you a little update. Just some broad strokes so you have an idea of what we're doing. You know, I'm reminded to let everyone know about this, that many of you are familiar with the location of Venus as she rises in the sky, in the night sky. Well, I don't know if you all know this, but when you go out and look up at the sky, look, if you have a star chart or if you can look it up, go out and look at Venus, and you will notice it's not actually Venus you're seeing. It's the New Jerusalem. That's where we've parked. We call it parking, too. We like your expressions. So we've parked the New Jerusalem right in front of Venus. And, of course, we emit the light so that it looks like Venus is still there, but it's really the ship. And it's a very large ship. So we've positioned it just far enough out there so that it will look the size of Venus when you're used to looking up at the sky. But there we are. And you know how we travel. It takes us a very short time to travel from where we are out there to right here. Of course, we're not going to land the New Jerusalem. It would cover most of the country of the United States. So we won't be landing it right smack down on your country. We will send our smaller ships, many of them. We have, shuttles. So the shuttles can bring us. And we are, we've told you before, we're already celebrating, but we'd rather be celebrating with you. So here we are, getting ready. We can't tell you the moment or the day, but things are happening. Things are happening as they were intended. And there will be disclosure. There will be Nasara funds, and there will be landings. And we are so excited, we can hardly stand it. We would like to say to you, it will be noon on Saturday. I wish we could do that, but you know, these things are very complex. There might be a glitch somewhere in the program, and then we would have to delay it, and then you would all be in despair and angry and upset and frustrated, and we don't want that. We've learned our lessons about that. It's too hard. It's too hard to say, yes, it's going to happen this week, and then it's delayed, even if it's delayed a day or a month or even a year. You know, in galactic terms, that's not very much, but we realize for you it seems like an eternity because you've wanted this so long. And those of you who have had many lifetimes on planet Earth, you've felt these things. You've felt this longing for freedom. You've known. You've known that there's something wrong, something that you couldn't fix yourself. You've been frustrated. You've been upset about the way things were handled. But it's been very hard to know what to do about it. And it's gotten harder and harder for you. Well, those days are over. My friends, you will be in command of your own lives. And, of course, that's not the easiest thing, you know. There will be responsibilities. There will be programs to design. There will be new structures to create. We will need the greatest minds, the greatest creativity, the most wonderful planners and managers and people who can gather groups together. It will be an exciting time. You're already beginning to practice these things, you know. Have you ever noticed how the new business models are all about cooperation and mutual respect? People are preparing. You are awakening. Sometimes it's just, you know, a little around the edges. Sometimes it's not all the way there. But the sensibility is changing on your planet. And that is really a thrilling thing, isn't it? Well, I just wanted to let you know that it's all going according to plan. Not to worry. I did tell you the last time that the planet has been stabilized. There are ships from all over the multiverse helping. You have no idea how many souls are here to help you and how pleased they are that they can chip in. And soon you will meet them. You will have brothers and sisters everywhere to help you. It will be the biggest party you can imagine. And we think of it as a huge birthday party. It is the birth of the new beginning on planet Earth. You know, I think we mentioned this to you before. You should be taking notes and writing about what's happening now, because one day people will ask, what was it like then? What was it like during those days when you were waiting for things to happen, and some people knew it was coming and some people didn't even know? What was it like? Write it down, dear ones. Write your story. Because years from now, it will be a fascinating story you have to tell. Now I see that Saint Germain is here, and he wants to talk to you. I think he has something special he wants to talk about. Am I right? He's nodding yes. Okay. Of course, we don't have to speak, to each other. We can hear each other. We don't need voices. But we're very glad that we have this voice that you hear now, or Kathryn, who brings us the information to you. And we have encouraged her lately and complimented her that she really does express what we wanted to say, and she does get across how we feel, so that's fine with us. And now, let's see what Saint Germain has to say. I'm just going to turn the floor right over to him, because our Kathryn is used to channeling or speaking with him, so there shouldn't be any problem. We'll just switch over. So, salute, everyone. I'm Ashtar. Hello. Yes, it's I, Saint Germain. Thank you, Ashtar. He is a jokester sometimes. Of course, he's very serious about his work. He's working. He is right on point. But when he has a chance, he does like to joke. So I wasn't really elbowing him, of course. But we do joke about that. So let's see. I have some things to talk with you about. And I know you all have questions. And last time, Ashtar kind of hogged the show for quite a while, and he didn't leave any time for questions. So we'll try to leave a little more time tonight so that all of you who have questions will have a chance to ask them, because I know there are lots of people wondering about what's going to happen. Now, I'd like to begin by asking you, please do not ask me what day things will happen or how soon. I wish we could tell you that, but we must not. And you understand by now, I think, why. I am not alone in making these plans, and neither is Ashtar. We rely on each other. We have hundreds of others who are working beside us to make these things happen. Thousands of others who are working beside them. There are a million variables, and these plans have been in the works for thousands of years. And there is also the element that you're not aware of, where you are now, that your higher selves are the ones who are really directing this project. So it is not up to me, it is not up to Ashtar, it's not even up to Mother, Father, God. We work in consultation with all of you. You don't realize that you may be voting on things while you're asleep, but your higher selves represent you. When you align with your I Am presence, you will be in alignment with your higher self, and you will feel what your higher self feels. And then you will know how these things have been arranged. And you will know that you have had input. You may not feel that way. You may feel as though it's all out of your hands and you don't know what's happening and why don't we get on with it and make it happen. Well, I don't know if you were aware of this, but each of you, your higher self, does have power, does have a voice, because we like to say in heaven it's a democracy. Of course, we do have our leaders, and we, of course, honor Mother, Father, God. They are our ultimate leaders, and we don't cross them because we know they have our best interests at heart. But we all have a voice. And in the making of this new planet, this new golden age, you each have had input. You each have had a voice. And we honor your voice. We honor your choices. And you must know that when it was decided to slow down the process a bit so that we could be more prepared, so that there were more who could come along, so that the entire project would go off smoothly, it was the choice of humanity. Not just Mother, Father, God, not just Prime Creator, not Ashtar, not me. It was the human committee who decided, not quite yet. We're not quite ready. Soon, but not quite yet. And you, dear ones, each had a vote in that. So, let us encourage you. If things are not going as quickly as you wish, don't say, how could they have stopped this? How come they don't get on with it? Well, it's not they, it's us. And you are one of us. You hear us say we are one. Well, it's true. We are one, and this is your project. So join us. Join us. Help us. And help yourselves to create this wonderful, wonderful new day that you have all envisioned for thousands of years. And it's why you're here now. It's why you came. And it's why each and every one of you fought to get a spot. Because you know there weren't enough. There weren't enough bodies on planet Earth for all the souls who wanted to come. So those of you who are here because you wanted to be. And who could blame you? What a time to be here. All right, so things are going along well. I want you to know that. You know that I work with many of those who are planning the banking and the other details, and we are moving along beautifully. Yes, there are still a few dark ones who are trying to wheedle their way in and divert the funds, but we're very alert, as you are. And you know, when this question came up, when Kathryn and Anne had a question about the petition and the document, we did not advise them. We said, oh yes, it's fine. But they decided they wanted it to be perfect. They do that, you know. They're pretty careful about what they put out and what they agree to. And they're doing good work to make it as brilliant as it needs to be and to send it out there to all of you so that you can take part. What a wonderful thing. You can take part. You can join in. Isn't that thrilling? What a time it is. You can be a part of this wonderful, wonderful project that we're all so excited about. It is the dream come true. It was the dream we tried to create 200 years ago. It is the dream that has continued, and it is coming to fruition. It will be a brand new start. So I know lots of you have questions. I'd like to turn over the floor and let Anne come in here and do her magic to juggle all these questions and know where people come from and help to ask them to line up and come forward. Are you there, Anne?
I'm here, St. Germain, and
all right.
I have 5 people lined up. Let's see if we can honor their hopes of expressing their questions.
Good. And I will be standing here if anyone wants to ask me a question, and if not, we turn it over to whoever they would like to ask.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the assurance that we're on the right track, and we're all going to pull together on this and know that we took part in actually creating our new government as it was originally intended 200 years ago, as you say. I know that's very dear to your heart as well. Thank you, St. Germain.
Thank you.
And let me see. We have one person here that has actually had their hand up for 51 minutes. I think they're deserving to be number 1. And so I'm opening your line in area code 978. You probably heard your line open, and we would like your name, and then if you can concisely express your question. Your name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca. And
yes.
What would you like to ask, and to whom would you like to ask it?
Perhaps to Saint Germain. My question is about the solstice coming up, and how maybe we could best use the energies to, increase our vibration and help others in gathering together for a solstice event. So I don't know if that's clear enough.
Yes, Rebecca, that's a wonderful idea. If you're questioning how to do it, think back. Think about what might have happened at Stonehenge. Think about bonfires in the open air. Think about festivals with music and good food. Yes, by all means, gather together. And if you can't do a block party on your street, or get your town to open the town square, then open your house or your apartment and gather a group together to celebrate the solstice. It's a wonderful idea, and your energy will be felt. Never fear. Does that answer you?
Yes, and is there any way that the energies are, I know the energies have been more increased right now since June 1st, but is there any way that I can help explain to those who don't understand what the solstice, in terms of its time of year and day, can really increase, it almost like a portal, increase people's abilities to receive the light?
Yes, it does, of course. Well, there are many stories and resources on your internet. you can look up something to give people, people in your culture like the scientific part of it. So give them a little lesson about astronomy and about what the solstice means. A lot of people don't know that. So have a little lecture when you invite people over. Give them a little lecture about what the solstice means in terms of astronomy, what it means in terms of your spiritual perspective. And then you can tell them a little bit about the energies that are coming for us now and how they will lift people's hearts. But of course, the solstice has many meanings in cultures going back to the beginning of time. It represents the summer beginnings, the planting cycle. There are many references and elements that come into the celebration. So write yourself a little story or a little lesson for people about it. They will really enjoy it. And then let them tell their stories too.
Okay, this is Anne, and I'm going to move on, Rebecca. I've already opened the next line, and I want to thank you. I know a lot of us had that question on our mind, and I'm very grateful that you asked, and we got some good answers direct from St. Germain. And I'm going to close your line now, Rebecca, and I've already opened area code 310, and we would like your name, who you would like to present your question to, and a concise question.
Raisa. Hello, everyone. I would like to ask Ashtar, please.
Yes, and your name is Lisa?
Raisa.
Isa.
Raisa.
Okay, and you would like to speak with Ashtar?
Yes, please.
And what would you like to ask him? Can you give us your question, please?
Yes. Awesome, long-awaited times are upon us. I'm a part of it, and I'm very excited about it. I also see that expectations reduce the joy in life. So I'm excited in every moment. I'd like to ask about what capacity do you see me most useful?
Are you asking in what capacity does Ashtar see you most useful?
Yes, please.
I'm going to perhaps allow a very brief answer to that, but we do ask that people not ask something personal to themselves, but rather a question that would be beneficial to all the listeners. So, Ashtar, you may want to give a very brief or maybe a general response that might help the other listeners as well.
Yes, dear. We don't answer personal questions like that, but the answer for everyone would be the same. Raise your vibration and express your love. And that will make you the most useful that you can possibly be. That's all I have.
Thank you. I have been part of the resistance movement, and we have various groups forming, leadership, Renaissance, and such. And I would like to do it. And I would like to do it all. And I would like other people to join us. It's open to everyone to take responsibility and become a part of this, because we are making this life for ourselves.
Then
and
you
we
can
deserve.
give your information to Anne. She will post it and let others know that they can join in.
Thank you so much. And
All right. And thank you, Lisa. That was very good and good information for all of us. And thank you very much, Ashtar. And I've already opened, at least I'm going to close your line now, honey. And I'm opening someone. I know you're in Missouri. Your line is open. May we have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Mary Monica, and I'm from Golden, Missouri.
Okay, Monica, go ahead with your question, honey.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a personal question, but I read about people who have raised their vibrations to where they see themselves in different dimensions, and I haven't reached that yet, and I meditate all the time, and I'm just wondering, am I the only one, or does this happen with a lot of people, that maybe it's not my time yet, that I don't see myself on the ceiling or, in different dimensions? Is this a personal question? I guess it is a personal question.
Well, I think it would be applicable to many of the listeners. They're wondering why they aren't experiencing extraordinary abilities or revelations.
Yes.
And who would you like to respond to this question, Monica?
I guess Mother, Father, God. I believe that's who I call out to because
that's okay. We'll go right ahead to Mother, Father, God. Let's just, because we only have 13 minutes yet.
Okay.
And I think Mother, Father, God's already waiting to answer you.
Okay.
Yes. Well, of course, that is something that would apply for everyone, I think. We have been giving you instructions recently on moving into the center of your brain. If you watch the visual centering videos that Kathryn has placed on the internet, and do that carefully, you will feel yourself moving back into the place that is the portal to higher dimensions. Now, you may think that you should feel yourself floating around in the stars, but you actually are experiencing other dimensions.
I am.
Yes. You're not aware of it because you think it should be something very unfamiliar to you. But in fact, you experience other dimensions in your dreams. You experience every time you are awakening from your sleep, you remember moments when you felt an inspiration or an answer come to you, or a feeling of your mind opening in a different way, a time when you might have seen the colors looking brighter.
Oh, yes.
When you look out your window and suddenly you realize your vision is more acute, you can see farther than you thought you could. Those are all moments that you experience other dimensions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica. That was a good question. It probably applies to when I'm driving and all of a sudden I feel like I'm really out here in Arizona. The space is so wide and the sky is so big, and I just get that feeling. I'm not even on planet Earth. I'm on a different planet, and I bet you that's what's happening. So
I really thought I was stuck or something, and nothing was happening, and I was really concerned about it, and the colors are so vivid.
Monica, I'm going to go ahead now and close your line. So
Okay.
we don't want each question. We could turn it into a wonderful conversation. But I already have Chakalia waiting with her line open, and I'm going to close yours right now, Monica. Thanks for a great question. Okay, sweetie. Bye, honey. Okay, and Chakalia?
Yes. Hi.
Then where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Gainesville, Florida.
Okay, and what is your question, and to whom are you addressing it?
Anyone can grab for the question. It's just an overall general question. I just want to say how I love the show, and I love how the ships are coming in, and of course there's no specific time, and like the funny jokes. And I just want to know, in general, do you want us to share this with all of our friends? I feel like this is such big information that the whole world needs to know, so we can all be light and open portals, and I just feel like the whole world needs to know all of this. So do you want to share it with everyone that we know? And that's my general question.
Okay, well, you really are more or less expressing all of our thoughts. The more we are able to acquaint with this information through these live calls, and also through the Mother of God messages that Kathryn brings to us, 3 written messages a week, besides this wonderful live conference call with the Cosmic Masters that we've spoken with. So remember, those calls are posted on HollowEarthNetwork.com on Breaking News, and it links to EarthAscends.com with Dr. May's messages under Mother, Father, God. And that's a good way to get people started. And I want to thank you, honey. That was a good expression. We all feel that way. I need to open one more line, I think, before we have to close. We're running short on time. And I'm opening the area code 719.
I have a question, too. I have some questions that were written in, so hope we'll get to those.
Oh, okay.
I hear
our last call that we're accepting from 719.
There's a lot of interference on the line.
I know, and I only have this
719.
one line open.
So if you could ask your question quickly, we'd like to.
Indeed, beloved Master, this be Zora.
Oh, Zora!
Oh!
And how do you this be?
I should have recognized
would
the
you
phone
please
number.
clean up your line, Zora? It's too noisy.
I have gone into the other room. Anyway.
Okay, leave all those talkers behind so we can hear you.
All those talkers are you talking.
Oh,
Indeed.
okay. It's echoes.
Well, this
welcome, Zora.
is not what is termed as a question, but it is what is termed as a statement. And this is directed to all of the wonderful masters that have been speaking this evening. And it is coming directly from what is termed through me from what is termed as Prime Creator. And Prime Creator wants everyone to know who is listening. Those who are doing what is termed reading the Bibles and things of this nature. There are 2 segments of the Bible that need to be what is termed as brought to light. One is the Old Testament. In the beginning, God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness." But in reality, it also said, "and with our powers and abilities." Now, in what is termed as the New Testament, in what is termed as Sananda was speaking to the disciples, speaking on to what is termed as healing. And they asked him, "How is you are healing and we are not?" He said, "Marvel not what I do, for greater shall you do, if you only believe that you can." This I would like to have what is termed Sananda to confirm what I have just said to everyone.
All right.
We're waiting
Indeed.
for Sananda then?
Is that the... Okay. Let's ask Sananda to speak with Zora. Yes, dear Zora. This is Sananda. How wonderful of you to bring this history lesson to the people.
Indeed.
Yes, of course, you're right. The words, those were the beautiful words that humans were created in God's image. Absolutely. And I did say that in the quote from the New Testament. I did say that all of you only need to have faith in your God and in your own abilities. And you will do far more than I have done. Far more.
And that is so. So I will say greetings from Hollow Earth, and I will tell you good evening.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
Zora.
And we will see you on Saturday, Zora. Looking forward to it. Thank you for joining us. And Kathryn, with that, I'm going to close our callers' lines and turn it over to you with questions that have been sent in.
Okay, we just have a couple of minutes. That was fun, wasn't it?
That was the first, wasn't it?
5 masters in one night. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to answer all these questions, but I'm going to put this one out because I think it's so interesting and it's something for everyone to think about. And I think we'll ask Mother, Father, God to answer this later. Maybe they'll answer it in a message. The question was, what is love, and what are all the possibilities love has to offer us? What is the practice we believe? What is the practice we believe is love, which is not true love, but leaves us feeling vulnerable and willing to lie for what we need, and how do we discern the difference? So these are questions I think about what true love is and how do we trick ourselves into thinking we're loving when we're really not. What are the practical benefits to implement real love as opposed to the pseudo-love many people are using today? What do you suggest for making immediate changes which our systems could accept right now? Well, this is Kathryn, and I'm going to answer the last part of that question, and that is that everyone is designed to love, and you can never do too much of it. So I think these are good questions for everyone to be thinking about right now, to examine what you're doing, to think about whether what you're doing is true love, and if it truly comes from your heart. So I'll ask Mother, Father, God to answer that maybe in a message.
That's a good idea, because I think it would be there permanently for people to mull over, to read and take it into themselves. And I think that's a wonderful way to respond to that question.
Okay. So let's see. We only have a minute. So there's another question that other people ask very often. When the ascension occurs, is it possible to return with the whole family to Arcturus? And can we come back to Earth as often as we like? Those are very interesting questions. I don't think we really have the time to answer it here. But there is one part of it that I can answer, and that is, will all illnesses be healed automatically? Well, I think that's part of what's going to happen for all of us, that illness, not only will illnesses be healed, but we will be restored to perfect health. So for now, we'll ask that Mother, Father, God answer some of these other questions in the messages. And those who didn't get to ask their question, so sorry. It's really interesting, and we get caught up, but hang on. Next time, maybe you can answer your question. You'll have your question answered then. Also, quickly, I want to announce I'm doing a workshop in New York City this coming Saturday, and there's just a few slots left, so people can contact me through the website. So, Anne, would
yes,
you like to
I'm
say
just
good night?
thinking about you being on Zora's call on Saturday.
Oh, yes. We're going to do that. So check out the Hollow Earth Network, everybody, and get
Zora
the latest.
Zora will be, for the first time, speaking through Kathryn this coming Saturday. Are we on the? We're off the air. Huh?
I think we are. Okay, we'll
we
end the episode
ran
now.
out of time. What a call.
Okay, next week.
I'll talk
long.
to you later then. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye, everyone.